So now we're looking at the vertebral model. We're going to pay more attention to the structures that are inside of this area here. All right, let's get the camera to focus. We're going to work our way in, out. So the first structure we see is very tiny. That little hole right there, this is the central canal. And so label number 34 goes here to here. It is called the gray commissure because it is the gray matter, as we talked about in the last video. All right, and of course this is the white matter here. And so when we are labeling the specific structures, because the white matter and the gray matter, these are basic names, but there are more specific names. And we want to keep in mind that this is a spinosus process, and it's posterior to our bodies, and the vertebral body is anterior to our bodies. So this is going to help us as far as naming these complicated structures or these different matters. So this area here will be considered the posterior, hence this is posterior side, posterior white matter. This area here would be the lateral white column. I'm sorry, I said matter. So when we name them specifically, they are called columns. When we're naming white matter, it's going to be called white columns. So starting over, this is a posterior white column because it's a posterior side. This is the lateral because it's going away from the midline, so the lateral white column. And then of course here in this area here would be the anterior white column. Likewise with the gray matter, it has a different name as well. It's called the gray horn. So we're going to name them as such using our anatomical terms, directional terms, that is. So label number 38 would be posterior gray horn. This is in the back. And then we see the area here. I think that's 37. I can't see that, but this is the lateral gray horn. And then 36 would be the anterior gray horn. Yep. And so the thing that's that white, oh, I have one more structure to name. But this whole entire thing is the Dura Mater, this white that surrounds the spinal cord. It's the Dura Mater. And so this here, label number 25, I believe, this structure here, and this area here was the next thing we're going to do. But I'm sorry, this is a posterior, it's not this, but it's like this little wave here. This is the posterior median sulcus. Posterior median sulcus. And here, label number 25 is the anterior median fissure. Anterior median fissure is that line right there in between. So working our way out. Let's start with number 6 here and number 9. Well, number 5, because they go together. So number 5 is the posterior longitudinal ligament. And so number 6, because it's the anterior side, would be what? It would be the anterior longitudinal ligament. I'm trying to get my camera to focus. It's terrible. Alright, so next thing we have this yellow adipose tissue that surrounds the spinal cord. This is of course our adipose tissue, but this area is called the epidural space. Hence where women get their epidural shots when they're giving birth. It goes right in here in this fat. The epidural space, where the yellow is. So next structure, label number 9, is the Dura Mater. And inside the Dura Mater, these little lines inside of it. I don't know if you can see that. Inside of the Dura Mater, we have the Arachnoid Mater. The Arachnoid Mater. Yes. Alright, so this space you see, that it's like all, I'm not gonna write on this thing. It's this space here and this space here, all of this space here is the subarachnoid space. Subarachnoid space that's in here. So this area here, I don't know what number that is. It looks like number 50. Okay, I won't read it. But this here, the structure here and here and here is the denticulate ligament, because they say it looks like a teeth or tooth. Denticulate ligament. Alright, we're almost done. So we know that this is our anterior root, and right here is the posterior root. Please be quiet. And these hands have the same name. This is our posterior rootlets, and this is our anterior rootlets. And that is it. I think that's it.